Hold on, ready?
Yeah. You might have to splice.
No. Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 624. I always feel like an old school mom when I say that. Episode 624, open your books. Every time. I should say that from now on. We're on chapter 624.
By the way, everyone, that funny laugh I do when, like, it's like, that's because I just took a giant drink of something and I'm
Gatorade.
Laughing with my mouth closed.
Hey, leave me alone. I'm hydrating. It's Sunday morning.
So I have the extra large from AM PM. If you live in California, you know where that is.
Yes. Okay, so this is kind of in line with everything that I was wanted to talk to you about today, but Miranda Lambert.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal.
I haven't even read an entire article about what she's doing. I've just read headlines, but I think I get the gist of what's happening.
The gist is that she is of a certain age. I think she's in her 30s, late 30s.
So to me, she's young-ish.
Women are allowed to be hot and on the rag, for starters.
Yeah.
She's been doing this since she was 15 years
old.
old.
Okay.
She might be burned out.
Agreed.
And she might be sick of looking at people with all their phones.
Yeah.
It's possible. And I'm not defending her bitchy behavior.
No.
She's been notoriously rude for most of her life.
Oh, so this is nothing new, people.
Yeah,
if you're a fan, then...
Well, and here's the thing. Once there's some kind of something that goes viral about you being an asshole or just being intolerant.
Yeah.
Suddenly, everybody comes out of the woodwork and goes, well... Miranda Lambert here in my town single-handedly saved a shelter. She did a concert and saved many animals.
Right.
The woman who ran the shelter apparently went up on stage during this concert and said, Miranda Lambert's going on tour. Yay. And Miranda went, that's my job. You don't get to tell people I'm going on tour, lady.
Oh.
Never raised another dime for the shelter after that.
Oh.
She's petty. And I'm like, I'm kind of living for it. And here's why.
I just don't care.
Here's why. Women, and this is, I don't know if I'm feeling very feminist today. I'm not sure if it's the Barbie movie or what, but
I haven't seen it yet.
Which I'm going to see tonight. I'm so excited. Anyway, women aren't allowed to do anything other than sit and look pretty.
And be sweet.
Be, positive. No one's allowed to have a bad day. No one's allowed to just be like, it's fucking hot up here. I've gained 20 pounds and I'm sick of being up here and watching these bitches take selfies when I'm trying to be honest about my music.
Right.
Diva. Sure.
Okay, fine.
But can we grant anyone a little grace, or do we just have to immediately make her the biggest bitch in country music?
No, and her job is no different than all of us who are in some kind of customer service or service. Period.
She is serving her fans.
You are, and you have to be. So you put on that face and that attitude, and you may feel like crap that day, and that person's really pissing you, but you have to do it. Right, it's your job.
And when you don't,
same. But we all fuck up.
Thank you.
We all have bad days. I have done it,
and maybe she's just not a very friendly person. And maybe she's like, you know what? I'm so fucking sick of acting like America's sweetheart. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I like my music. I like my albums. I like my band. And I don't give a fuck about you. And I'm like, do it, girl. Right? I don't care. I'll still listen to your music. Right? I don't care. It's not like she's saying, anything horrible. And you know what? Maybe they were little bitches. Maybe she met them in the backstage because they were in a VIP section. Maybe she met them and she's just like, oh my God.
But honestly, we
don't know the whole story.
We don't know, and even if there isn't another story, and she's just a bitch, I mean, fine.
Then she's a bitch.
Yeah.
Big whoop. Mariah Carey isn't exactly notoriously friendly either.
No, she is not.
And neither is Christina Aguilera. Any of these people.
But I still love them, and I still listen to them.
Beyonce couldn't be bothered. Ever.
Beyonce is her and Jay-Z, for being as rich as fuck as they are.
They aren't fans of people.
They are so antisocial.
They do not.
You don't see them at anything unless it's like the biggest A-list thing and they must go.
And you know when they must go is when they're coptered in, private entrance, and suddenly you're like, oh, Beyonce's here?
Yeah, she
didn't know.
She poofs like a magic. She's like, poof, here I am.
She's like, we're so rich. And we just have magicians bringing us in at this point.
Right, and they're gone as fast as they come.
Yeah, and
they don't after party. No. They don't hang out. No.
And when you think,
why would you? I would go back to my 6 trillion thousand square foot mansion in Malibu
with my children. And by the way, you can go back to any one of these women's lives from before they were famous until they're famous, and the shit they had to put up with to get to where they are. I'm like, please.
Especially Beyonce, yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Great.
Anyway, welcome to the ugly truth. Okay, so really quick. So, you know, my husky is 14. He's very old. Somehow he had some kind of resurgence over the last week or so, and we have found no less than 4 dead possums in our backyard.
Again.
Yeah, they're killing possums, and the thing is
possum season.
Yes, because tis the season when skunks and possums have their children, and the children are stupid, and they just wander into our yard like, hey, what's this? How come we've never been back here? And then they're
and
dead.
Mom's like, no.
And they're dead. They're like, you know, I wish I spoke English, but I don't. So, rip, you know, because that's why they have so many, you know, because they all die and maybe one survives. Well, we killed, not we, but our dogs killed 4. And it was funny, Daryl, not funny, but he was cleaning up the backyard. Every morning he goes, there's another dead possum. And I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, and they're small. And I was like, oh, those stupid idiots. And I'm like, you would think after 2, the other ones would learn that they don't come back. Like, what are they thinking? They're like, well, I'm on my own. Thanks, Mom. And
they're
then
instinctual creatures, I swear.
They're dead. So he was cleaning up. And I was standing there talking to him, and he was cleaning up some leaves. He goes, oh, no. And I'm like, what? He goes, I found another one. I was like, oh, my God.
See, thank God for Daryl, because Daryl just doesn't. It's not really a big deal to him.
It isn't. And I don't know what that is.
I don't know. We've talked about that before because it is kind of weird. Yeah. But my husband, it would be like
devastating.
I'll flip you a coin to see who's going to pick it up.
Well, I mean, let's harken back to the time when there was a dead bird in your bedroom.
Oh, on my bed.
On your bed. A mangled bird that you screamed and had to do. Frankly, I can't believe you didn't burn your bedding and just buy all new.
I may have.
Because I certainly would have.
I may have. I cannot remember. God, I could gag right now. I can't with that. That's
disgusting.
I think I trauma put that out of my mind because until you said that again, I was like, oh God, that's right.
God, it was so disgusting. Anyway, yeah, so that's been my week. And so then the next day, Bodega acts like he's on death's door.
Oh, God.
And so we're on our way to the grocery store. I don't know what the deal has been, but I've been really emotional for about a week or so.
Well, maybe it was the Sunny thing.
Well, Sunny's been gone for about a month.
A year.
He's been gone about a month, but I just think there's a lot of changes coming up. Yeah. You know, Mackenzie's graduating from school.
That's true.
And side bet she got chosen to compete on an international team, and that's a big deal. Huge. And I don't know. There's just a lot going on.
There is a lot going on. Yes. And so, there's a lot of change. And
a good change.
I think I was telling you that. Oh, no, I was actually telling my bestie that the other day. Because I was just saying, I'm feeling, because everybody's, how is it going? How's it going?
Yeah.
How's your new?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, I feel really overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's new.
I'm like, everyone's like, aren't you so happy? Aren't you so excited? And I'm like, no, not really.
No, I'm trying to adjust.
Like I should be, but I'm just like, my brain can't wrap around all these changes.
A lot of change. So anyway, with that, that might be why I've been so emotional. So, he had this surge of Killer, which he hasn't done in about a year. And then, so we're on our way to the grocery store the other night, and it's just so goddamn hot. I'm cooking food at like 9:00 at night.
I know. And we've been eating out a lot, which is terrible. But
we have to.
It's when it's 110 outside, it's like the last thing I can't even turn on my air fryer.
No.
It made the whole kitchen like 80 degrees. I was like,
well, and here's the other thing. So Daryl's a big stickler on, we have this eco-friendly thermostat.
Yes.
And so now I understand I don't look at the SMUD bill or the PG&E bill.
I do.
I know. And so I don't know what outrageous is.
It's outrageous.
Right. And so he said.
And your house is twice, if not 3 times as big as mine.
We have 2 air conditioners.
Yeah,
we have one for upstairs and one for it's big.
Right.
And I mean, I'm grateful for the one for the upstairs because it works it's old and it just works so good. You just can't discount those old school air conditioners.
Oh God, no.
They just don't make them like that anymore. Anyway, so we have the eco-friendly thing. So there are times throughout the day where the air conditioner just stops. Oh. It turns off at peak. And peak is usually 5:00 in the afternoon.
Which is generally when it's the hottest.
It's the hottest, and so it turns off. And I'll be sitting there doing something, and all of a sudden I'm like, why am I so hot?
Because
I'm like literally the embodiment of Princess and the Pea. I can feel any kind of change physically on myself. That's why I know that if I ever have any kind of malady, I'll know before anybody else. No question. So anyway, I'm like, why is it so hot here all of a sudden? I'm like, it is 79 in this house.
It is sweltering.
And so last night, because
I know people who keep their air on all the time.
I wish. We can't afford it.
No. They keep it at like 79, 80.
Yeah.
So when I tell them what mine is, they're like, are you crazy?
That's
and I'm
Arctic.
Like, no, actually you are.
It's like, welcome to my terrarium, friends.
My God.
So anyway, it was like I was watching something.
I can't drink.
So sorry.
It's
We're
true,
lizards
though.
here.
It's like the walls are perspiring.
Would you like a cricket? We have mealworms tonight.
I think I'm still drunk.
Sorry.
No,
So
I'm
anyway.
kidding. No, my allergies are making
I know.
seriously.
Oh,
like
God,
I feel
get
like
loopy.
my head is thick. You know how
my
it gets
God.
from sneezing so much. Anyway,
Yes.
I digress.
Anyway, so it was really late, and it was like 8:00, and he goes, hey, the air conditioner hasn't come back on yet. And I looked, and it was 82 in the house. Now, not only is that incredibly hot, it also makes people tend to be a bit cranky.
Oh yeah.
And so, and drinking alcohol, by the way, does not help.
No.
So,
it's like when you're on the beach, drinking always sounds amazing.
It's not.
Until like your second or third drink when you've been out in the sun.
You're like, oh God, I can't breathe.
and then you feel like you're gonna die.
You're like, why? And you're like, and don't go in the sea. You'll die.
Oh, you will die. And it
Yeah.
sucks every life.
It's awful.
You have no energy.
You have to drink water. Anyway, so he goes, hey, he's like, I can override the thermostat if it's hot in here. And I said, he goes, or are you fine with that? I go, it's fucking hot in here. He's like, all right. And I'm like, why are you asking for permission? Just fucking turn it on.
Well, probably because he was fine and he could have left it and written it out.
No, he was hot. And that's why he's like, hey, maybe she's hot too. And so, you know what I mean? Collectively, he didn't just want to say, hey, I turned it back on. We're dying.
Yeah, I would have.
know?
I mean, it would not have been a conversation, but yes.
So anyway, but the problem is that I don't ever say anything because I don't have to open the bill or look at the email that says, hey, you owe $600 this month or however much it is.
Well, ours was $4, so I imagine yours would be up there.
He goes, I do not want to be on a payment plan with our electric company again or gas company. And I'm like, I don't blame you. I will suffer in silence because I get it. I get it.
We're in the exact same boat. We finally had a zero balance with SMUD. Now, if you don't live in California, you may not understand that. I hate when people...
They have their own.
I talk to people... Well, they do, but it's shocking to me sometimes when I'm talking to people and they're like telling me about their bills because in my kind of work, I often hear about what you pay.
Yes.
So they'll be like, yes, I write a check to PG&E or SMUD every month. And, last month it was $69 and I'm like, I'm laughing at like... Who has a $69 SMUD bill?
People who live in closets.
I guess, and people who have energy systems that they don't override, and they sit there in 85 degree.
Ask anybody in a place where it snows all the time, and their gas bill is outrageous.
For the heat?
Yes.
I can imagine.
It's the opposite. Yeah. It's the opposite. Yeah. Anyway.
So what I started to say is ours was $395 last month.
Yes.
And that was just 1 month.
And I blame climate change. I don't care what you believe or what you don't believe, but I certainly do believe it. It's freaking insane. I've never seen heat like this in a while. It's been a while.
Since last summer, you mean?
Yeah. Exactly. Although it hasn't, I don't know what's going on with our environment. It's strange, isn't it?
It was I have to say, for California, it was a very weird. We had a long, wet winter, which we never have.
We did.
Ever.
The snowpack is insane still.
It's still insane. And it didn't get hot until just about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we are in almost August.
And they're like, it's going to be 112.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
So we went from the 70s and the 80s. I know.
What happened?
So this is a very unusual summer for us.
I know, and I'm kind of just like, no fire, please. We haven't had fires.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that all the rain we had kept things kind of moist and wet. And
although I was
stuff green.
Apparently, whatever. Yeah. So anyway,
there's still people falling off waterfalls in Yosemite.
Dude, did you hear about that?
Yes, every year.
Why do people do that?
Because they're morons.
They want the photo. They want the pic.
Okay, fine, but you can.
No, I'm not. No.
I know you're not defending them.
God.
Because you and I would never. We're not that fucking stupid.
Oh my God, no.
I mean,
in Yosemite, there's a hike where you can go up and look at Bridal Falls. which is a beautiful hike. It's not hard to do. Anyone can do it.
A lot of people can do it.
But it's slippy.
It's narrow.
And they tell you, stay to the right because the rocks on the left, the water is always hitting it, which means they're slick. They're worn down. They're smooth. Loose sometimes. And so don't go, just stay to the right. And we went maybe a quarter, not even a third of the way up because we had little kids and we were just like, oh, this is cool.
It's far enough.
Yeah. And it was fine. And I'm like, oh, this is really neat. Now, personally, I would have gone all the way up. It would have been amazing. You know, we haven't gone back since, but I will go.
Yeah. You and Daryl should do it.
But I can't tell you how many fools literally I saw going, oh, look at this.
It's
I'm
so,
like,
yeah. And you are who we read about in Channel 3 News is when I'm getting ready for work in the morning.
Yeah, you're going to slip and crack your head open in front of families.
It happens
because you're so dumb.
Yep.
You're just so fucking
And then
dumb.
they send these search and rescue people up to try to find them. But that's mostly because we can't leave dead human bodies everywhere up in places where there's tourism.
Well, you got to make an effort.
Well, yeah. They can't just leave rotting corpses. They'd be everywhere.
You have to retrieve them. But what's unfortunate, and it's the same thing with the American River, where we have drownings constantly here, because people still just refuse to believe that they need a life jacket.
Yes.
I don't understand that, but they do it every year.
Every year.
Anyway, they get stuck under the current, and so they get pelted by the waterfalls.
And it's freezing. The water's like 50 degrees. It looks beautiful, and it's 110 out.
It feels great.
But the water is like ice.
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
It shocks your body.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about, but people keep doing it
every year. I swear, since the dawn of time, since
they're like, oh, well, I'm different.
No,
sure you are.
Yep.
Anyway, so with that all being said, I wanted to tell you about my emotional break in the car really quick, and then we'll segue into why I'm emotional this week. Has nothing to do with the other, but so Bodega hits this surge of energy, and then he acts like he's dying the next day. And I said, are dogs the same as people when they're dying?
I knew you were going to say that because I was thinking it.
Where they're like,
that's usually when
great.
A human is on their deathbed and hasn't spoken to a human in a week, and then the day before they die, they'll all of a sudden just wake up and be conscious and
be
like
completely normal. They're like, oh, I feel like having a cheeseburger. Cheers, everyone, and then they're dead the next day.
And then they die.
It's horrible. Yeah. It's a horrible.
I don't know if it's horrible. Actually, I think it's kind of great.
Well, it gives everybody closure.
It does give you closure.
Get to see them. You know,
and if you've never been around someone who's very, very ill, who's dying, it's such the human body is a miraculous thing.
Well,
it goes on forever.
It doesn't want to die.
It doesn't want to die. It resists it, and it can take, even if it's as ill or old as you are, it can take a long time.
Absolutely.
And so if you've been sitting with someone all week who's been semi-conscious, and you've just been maintaining their pain or their comfort level, and then all of a sudden they wake up and they're normal,
you're like, oh my God.
The last week just didn't happen.
It's like a relief for a minute.
It is a relief, and you're so grateful for it.
You're right. I still think it's a mind fuck because you're like, because it's just long enough for you to go, is this legit? Yeah. And then suddenly
it fools
they
you
pass
every
away,
time.
and it's like, wait.
I haven't known a lot of people dying, but I think it's
well, I've seen I saw our grandmother do this. I saw her.
Our grandmother and my husband's mom, my mother-in-law.
They just suddenly they're just like, hey, how's it going? You're like, hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Weird. Anyway, so I told Daryl, I go, do dogs do that too? And I said, and I'm afraid to Google it. And then I started to cry. And I said, I'm sorry, this is so dumb. He goes, stop saying it's stupid to be emotional. It's fine. You're just still Morning Sunny. Aww. And I said, I am Morning Sunny. I go, but I'm watching Bodega age very quickly. And you know how dogs are. One goes and then the other one goes.
Well, it just is it's a fast process.
If anyone has two dogs,
oh my God,
and they both are old and one passes away, it's not much longer before the other one does. It's a weird thing. I mean, they're bonded in a way. So anyway, I'm like, and I feel like there's no way out because he's old and I can't fix it. You can't fix it. You just have to like figure it out. And it's like awful. And so anyway, he's like, you don't have to, you can cry. I'm like, no, I can't. And I'm like trying to hold it. Anyway.
Oh God, I got that mad the other day.
Oh, you did?
I did. And it was like, I was very, very mad. And I was so mad.
You're like, I have to hold it in.
I wanted to cry, and that made it even worse.
I hate it when I cry when I'm angry.
I didn't do it, but I think the glimpse was there. Like, I think I must have had the look on my face, and it was at work, of course.
Of course.
And I thank God I was as angry as I was, because I think that's what kept me from like fully losing it. I felt like Samantha on. That's exactly how I felt. Yeah.
When Richard told her he couldn't hire her.
Yes. Because she was so together, and because I was having a moment.
Like I was in a meeting. I was a man.
Yes. I was in a meeting and I was basically on a little tirade, but they were very good points I was making.
It was a professional tirade.
It was, but it was because it was the union and it was just us.
Right.
There wasn't any managers or anything like that in the room. It was just my union family. And so we tend to get a little bit more
emotional.
Personal.
Sure.
Well, we swear and whatever. And I'm like, fuck. And I have the worst mouth ever.
Me too.
So I was getting some pushback and I didn't like it. And I finally was like, you know what? I'm fucking over this meeting. Because it was like a 2.5 hour long meeting. And it was like the last 15 minutes. And I was
too
like,
long.
Done.
Yeah.
I am done arguing with you people. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm over it. So I got up and I walked out of the room.
And you're
not quite. I would have been fine had somebody not come after me.
Oh, God damn it.
And as somebody who's like, look, you're right. Your point was being heard and received. We all get it. They're like, but if you leave, and we were all supposed to go to lunch. And I was like, I'm not going to lunch. I'm going to work. I was like, I'm going back to my office. I'm done. And he's like, if you go and you leave, then they're going to think that, they got the best of you or that whatever was being said was enough. And I'm like, he's like, let's bring it back together. Let's go to lunch like we were supposed to. He's like, this is just how shit goes. So that is when I wanted to get emotional.
Because now you're starting to relax.
I was at the peak of my anger and
and you're trying to go breathe.
So I was breathing and I was like rolling my eyes. I was like, fine. Because I was thinking like, what if this really, what if it wasn't just the union? What if I was at a manager? And I'm like, I would not just be able to get up and walk out. No. Like that wouldn't be cool. So
crap, I hate growth.
I was angry.
I hate personal growth. It makes me mad. Sometimes those meetings happen. One time, this was a while ago, Daryl and I witnessed someone getting into an argument, and it was really, really late at night. We weren't involved in the argument, but they were having an argument.
Observers.
A few people, and we were observers of it. Mm-hmm. And the next day, I said, I wonder how everything's going to go. And so we were there, and one of the persons in the argument said, honestly, the night just went on about a half an hour too long.
Yeah.
And so I just wonder with meetings that end up like this, where you go, the meeting lasted about 20 minutes too long. We should have ended it when we did. And then it would have been all right. Same thing. And I'm like, that is such good advice.
It's so true too.
Because once conversations start to circle and then you're really trying to articulate your point. And I have this problem where I go, maybe I'm not making myself clear.
I do too. Veronica's told me many times.
I said, I think I'm not articulating what I'm trying to say. But and they always say, no, you are. And I'm like, so what's the problem then?
Like, why aren't you agreeing
then why
with me?
Why are we not moving forward? If I've been clear, I don't understand why we're not moving forward in this conversation.
100%.
Are you unwilling to just let go? And you just want to be
No, you are actually.
Because I'm like, I think this matter has settled. And yet here we are. And you're still. I don't get it.
It's anyway. So true. God, yes.
Now I'm getting shrill and I'm mad. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so on that note, I'm feeling very feministy this week.
Okay.
Now, no matter what your morality or whatever, we're women. It's been rough for women for the beginning of time, honestly, the dawn of time. But
true.
It seems like society in the world, it ebbs and flows.
Absolutely.
Sometimes they'll allow women to live their best life and we're celebrating and everything's wonderful. And then they go, you know what? You've had enough fun for now. Yeah. We're going to go back to telling you what you need to be and blah, blah, blah. So it kind of started on, this was the little mini hair that I started noticing it. So on TikTok, there was a cute little trend about a month ago about women who say girl dinner. They're like, this is my girl dinner. Now,
what does that mean?
I'm going to explain it to you because I know you know what it is. Even when you have kids or a family, this is girl dinner. It is a smattering of your favorite snacks. Cheese, antipasto, a cracker, glass of wine. Yeah. This is what I call my girl dinner.
Okay.
And it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's indulgent.
It's wonderful because that means you're not cooking for anybody. You're home by yourself and you're like, you know what I want? I want to not cook, but I want to eat all my favorite foods. Here's some cheese. Here's some apples.
Totally.
It is my favorite. I can eat it every day.
Me too.
Girl dinner. It's indulgent.
Yeah.
Because that means you're not caring for anybody.
Yeah.
And it's nice.
Yeah.
So I loved it. I have my own TikTok of girl dinner and I showed my girl dinner and it's great. And so there's even a song, Girl Dinner. And women showed popcorn and ice cream and leftovers and a cake. you know?
Yes.
All the things.
I always buy a slice of cheesecake from the, you can go to the bakery and you can just buy one slice of cheesecake.
So nice.
I keep one in the refrigerator almost every week.
I used to keep a cupcake in the refrigerator for everything. Yeah. Always. I used to be a whole cake and I'm like, no, I'm getting fat. I can't do that anymore.
That's why I just get one. And I don't eat the whole thing. I'll go in there and take like 2 forkfuls and then I'll put it back.
Oh God, that's so great.
It's amazing.
It's wonderful. So you understand.
And no one touches it.
Yeah,
no one else
it's yours,
wants it.
And they know.
They don't like cheesecake.
That's so nice.
So I'm like, yeah, I know it's safe.
Yeah,
no one's going to eat this because
my indulgence, my and
it brings me joy just to open it and see it sit. What the fuck?
So you can just see it and satisfying, knowing it will be there when you open the fridge again.
It's like it's on its own little pedestal with the light around it. It's like, oh, yeah,
exactly. So it started with girl dinner, and then I am not a hardcore Swiftie because I'm older, but I am a Swiftie.
I be a Swiftie in your mind.
I freaking love everything about it. Yeah. I love celebrating this.
I don't understand why we're not going on one of her Eras tours.
It's a Swiftie summer. It's been an amazing fling of celebrating women of all ages, from little girls all the way up to grandmas. Everybody's wearing glitter and sequins and cowboy boots, and it's just amazing.
It's so fun.
Friendship bracelets. And I have watched no less than 1,000 videos of Taylor Swift on TikTok, fully live stream shows. And you know why people live stream the show? Because a lot of people can't afford to go.
True.
And they want everybody to be there.
Inclusive.
It's the first time I watched her opening night on TikTok, 3 hours. I cried.
Yeah.
Stephanie,
People
I am
said
not
it was
kidding.
Amazing.
It's such a celebration of women.
Yeah,
I mean, and yes, it's for everybody. Obviously, it's very inclusive.
I have a friend who's taking his wife and his daughter.
Oh my
She's
gosh.
7. The daughter's 7, and
That's
his wife.
amazing.
And they've been making their outfits for months.
Yes.
And he is wearing a fully glitter glam suit.
Good for him.
And
he's all in.
And a pink shirt and a pink tie.
Oh, see.
I love it.
Yes. So I'm all in on the Swiftie summer. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And now people are like, Psh, she doesn't represent it. And I'm like, can you just shut the fuck up, dude, with the penis? Can you just shut up? This isn't for you. This isn't for you.
Shocking.
You don't have to understand it. You don't have to celebrate it. You don't have to spend the money to go. You don't have to stream it. You don't got to buy the merch or the albums. Doesn't matter, because it's not for you.
Right.
And
Thank you.
I don't know one woman who isn't low-key excited about Taylor Swift and her rise of getting over this asshole who sold her masters that she worked so hard for. And so what does she do? Kelly Clarkson told her, re-record all your shit. And she did. And it's better. And it made those masters worth nothing.
And you know what's funny is when I go to listen to her music,
you got to find the Taylor version.
I always find the Taylor version.
You have to.
I'm like, I will not listen to anything but the Taylor version.
That's right, because you support women.
I do. And I don't care if she's rich. And
I don't care if she's rich
because I've heard people give that argument too. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Oh, her dad was a millionaire. I'm
so
like, so
what?
fucking what?
Yeah. And here's the other thing I'm tired of. And I tell people this all the time. People that I know who were either born poor or came up poor, or whatever, and who are ashamed and feel guilty about their success.
Yeah.
Stop it.
That's true.
You don't need to feel bad about being successful. It is. And why do people do that to other people?
It is this world's obligation to make women feel like crap for anything good.
No.
And that is my point. I don't want to hear it anymore. And don't make us insulate and only be around people who feel the way we do, because you can't just respect that women are having a moment. So the Barbie movie came out a couple days ago.
Everyone I know is excited about this movie and has gone to see it. I think
it came out on Thursday or Friday this last week.
Because I know people who've already seen it.
That's wonderful. So Daryl goes, "Hey, do you want to see the Barbie movie?" I'm like, "I absolutely want to see the Barbie movie."
Yes.
This is the director who did Lady Bird.
Okay,
she's from Sacramento.
Yep.
I went to see Lady Bird in the theater. Stephanie, I cried so hard.
I have not watched it yet for that reason.
I wept. This woman has a thing about mothers and daughters.
Okay, good.
And she is good at it.
Okay, great.
Really, really good at it.
I'm so happy for her.
Stephanie,
because she's like a regular person.
Good.
Yeah,
it's so good. And then not to mention it was in Sacramento.
Yeah, we
course.
love that.
And so
they just filmed another movie here that just wrapped literally like a week or two ago.
Yeah, you're right. I remember that. So I just remember we were on our way home from the theater because we went downtown to see it. We went and saw it at the Tower Theater or something like that. I can't remember. We saw it somewhere really iconic.
Yeah.
Daryl, I told him to take me. So, and he did. And he liked it too. But anyway, so we're on our way home. We're over the bridge and I am weeping. And I go, that was such a good movie. I can't stop crying. And I'm like, you just don't understand unless you're a woman. You really don't.
True.
You really don't. So anyway, the Barbie movie comes out. It's got a 93% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which never happens.
I know, huh?
And now
we all love Margot Robbie. My God.
I do love her too. But now we're seeing these women come out and say, I understand my mother and I don't like my mother. And they're crying.
Oh, great.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Am I going to have an epiphany when I see it?
It's going to be Lady Bird all over again, but in Barbie world. Oh my God.
Well, hopefully the pink and the Barbie-ish, theme will make it not sad.
Well, what a lot of people are saying is they're like, I went in thinking it was going to be this fun, high energy summer rom-com movie. And it's very deep.
It's deep.
And I'm like, I can't wait.
But it's PG-13, right?
Yes. But here's the issue why I'm bringing it up. People who are making a living being conservative voices, like super conservative voices. They're not Trumpy necessarily, but they're just like, we are conservatives and we don't like what's going on in this world. That kind of thing. They are trashing this movie. Hardcore trash. Men, by the way, not women, men. I saw a conservative woman going, look, I know that Hollywood tends to lean left. Mm-hmm. They're a little bit liberal when it comes to whatever.
Very liberal,
She's like, I saw the Barbie movie. She goes, I got to tell you, it ain't that. It's a good movie.
It's just good.
It's just a good movie. And she's a woman and a conservative. But conservative men are just
How do you politicize a movie called Barbie?
They are so...
Are you fucking kidding me?
Women aren't allowed to have fun, Stephanie. They're not allowed to celebrate anything unless they're having babies and backing up their man. And I'm like, this is what happened in the 70s. This is why women
were burning their
finally
bras.
Said, you are not oppressing us anymore. Fuck off.
Yes.
You've taken away so much in less than 5 years. They have regressed. And they're trying so hard to make women go back into this sit still, look pretty, shut your fucking mouth, make sure you're pretty and blonde and thin, and you just suck our dick and just be happy we're paying the mortgage.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, that is not the world we live in.
No.
And
well,
by
it
the way,
be.
They're so afraid that a woman will see the Barbie movie or go to a Taylor Swift show or whatever and go, you know what? Men suck. And I'm like, you know what? They do.
Right?
Not all men, obviously.
We know.
But it's like, can women not enjoy anything without somebody stepping out and going, you know what, you guys? This is just a woke culture, blant, blant, blant. Women, if women are going to be so sad when they're 48 and they don't have kids, and I'm like,
stop it.
I don't know. I'm an empty nester and I've never been happier.
Yeah, that's just such
really
bullshit.
Know what to say to that?
That's bullshit. Ask my daughter, who lives in a extremely conservative state and hates it, by the way, but it's the money part that she can't, you can't deny.
Right.
She is so happy that she's not having children.
She's like,
There's
fine.
no regrets. There's no. And she's got a husband who 100% support. Like, he's just as happy.
He's like, you go, girl.
There's no pressure to I want, a son and, all that shit. No.
My daughter actually called, we talk almost every day. Mm-hmm. And she said, I feel sorry for you sometimes. And I go, me? Why? She's like, I just wonder. And it was really, the concept was very sweet. Mm-hmm. She goes, I just wonder if you had just decided not to have children, where you would be right now. She's like, I know you would be really wealthy. You'd probably be living in the city.
Yeah.
You'd have a massive career. And even if you met Dad, you two would just be taking on the world. Yeah. And I'm like, babe, I could have had that life. Yeah. I live in a place where I could have absolutely not had children. Right. And I still decided to do it. Mm-hmm. Why? I don't know. I said, but I did decide to do it. I had every opportunity not to. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? No, I'm not going to. I'm taking this other path. Mm-hmm. And I said, and honestly, it changed my life. Yep. And maybe I knew. Maybe I did. Yeah. And that's why I said, no, I got to do this because I'm acting like a crazy person.
Yeah, for sure. Me. And I definitely did not plan, but yeah.
No, but I mean, the reality is that it, for, my body, my choice, my body, my problem. Yep. And so I was like, I really, she goes, I mean, I wouldn't exist, but I am glad. And I said, babe, you were going to exist.
Yeah.
I was never not going to have you. And but I do appreciate the concept.
I understand the sentiment that
I
she's.
do get it. I get it. But, they're saying women aren't satisfied unless they're mothers. And I'm like,
that's not
who
true.
told you this? No. This is a lie.
No. And the older I get, the more I love my children. We've talked about this a million times, obviously. But I, even the second time around when I had my son, I was in my late 30s.
I know, I remember.
And it was very, very different. And you...
Sorry. I'm listening.
I know you are. You know that you're always going to love your kids. It's just a natural thing. You can't even stop it. It's like, it's an instinct for you. But I have definitely had different thoughts about motherhood the second time around.
Yeah.
To where it has nothing to do with how I feel about my child.
No.
Like, honestly. But I could have...
You can separate. You can do that.
I have definitely been like, I really don't want to go home tonight. Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
And when Lauren was little, I couldn't wait to get home. Like, the feeling of needing to go home and after work and be there for her and take care of her was so strong that it never even occurred to me that I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But it kind of occurs to me a lot more.
Well, yeah, because you're doing it again.
I'm doing it, and it's like, it's an obligation not more, but sometimes it feels like an obligation.
Sometimes.
Yes. I don't want people to be like, oh my God, you cold-hearted
no.
bitch. No, but I'm just like, God, at my age now, I've never felt freer. I've never felt more independent, more strong.
You probably feel freer now because your child is on the cusp of independence.
True. Well, he's finally getting to that non-baby phase.
So you're sensing it because when he was a baby, you were obsessed. You were obsessed with him. I was obsessed with him.
Well, shit, he's the cutest fucking thing ever.
Yeah, but as they get to the point where they suddenly are like, yeah, I mean, I'm glad we're all together.
He can make his own cereal now.
Exactly. He's going to get to a point where he's going to be like, yeah, I'll be home later. I've got a job or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm free for 4 hours?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or if I get home at 9:00 from a meeting, it's like not the end of the world.
Exactly.
People have eaten and bathed.
Yes. Yeah, you won't have to be like, did you bathe today? You'll be like,
right.
Oh God, gross. Yes, mother, God.
We're not there yet, but yes.
You know what I mean.
Well, now he does things out of fear, and that's fine.
Whatever works.
That's what my bestie always says. She goes, hey, I don't care if they respect me out of fear or love. Either is fine.
Yes. So I don't know. And I was telling, unfortunately, Daryl is such a good husband because he's so like, just do as you wish. Do as you wish. Because first of all, I love men.
Yeah, I do too.
Good men, you know. But I mean, I've seen enough bad men.
Yeah.
But this whole idea of trying to tamp down women's ability to feel free for 5 minutes or joy or just enjoy something without it being made fun of.
Yeah.
And like I said, there is a $1 billion industry built around men hitting a ball with a stick. Billions of dollars have been spent on this. The government even got involved because somebody else from another country was creating another $1 billion.
I know, huh?
I'm like, it is serious business. It isn't actually.
No,
it isn't.
Not in the grand scheme of life. It's not.
But do women make fun of it actively? Do they go on TV and go,
no,
you know what? I saw the new movie with Matt Damon being a golfer. I gotta tell you.
I mean, how many movies are there where
I'm gonna burn my golf clubs,
right? And all these men in Hollywood, when they achieve uber success and they're A-list celebrities now, and they've become directors and producers on top of being actors and everything else. What is the first goddamn movie they make that they're in charge of, that they're producing and starring in? They're a fucking golfer. They're a quarterback.
Baseball player.
They're a baseball player. How many times has Kevin Costner been a baseball player in a movie?
Million. Or Cowboys.
Thank you. I mean, like, they cannot wait to celebrate them damn selves.
Or the crazy people make themselves Jesus.
True.
They're like, I'll be Christ. Okay. Thanks.
I mean, shit, even God, Bruce Almighty. He's freaking...
I will be the Lord.
Right? Although I do love, what's his name?
He's like, Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman, who's in absolutely everything. That man is in everything.
Is he still alive?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And still in everything.
That's funny.
So yeah, I look at all these men-made movies, you know, in Hollywood, and it's hilarious. I can imagine how the Meryl Streeps of the world feel.
Oh, they probably laugh.
I'm sure they're constantly like, imagine having a cocktail party with a group of them. The
bored.
stories.
You know what? There was a thing, and I don't know if it's still on now. Well, everybody's on strike right now, but there was a program, I think it was on AMC, where all women actresses would sit in a big round table. I think it was called the Round Table, and they would all sit and share stories about their experiences working in the industry. I found it fascinating.
Oh, I would too.
I'll try to find it,
but
and send it to you.
Infuriating at the same time.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
But these are women, like, when they all get such a bad reputation, like Reese Witherspoon has created her own production studio, right? And everybody's like, she's just a drunk bitch. And I'm like, she had one time.
And do you know how many times have we heard about A-list celebrities beating the shit out of her wife or a girlfriend? Yeah. Oh, but that was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the same as a DUI.
And she wasn't even driving.
Whatever. You know what I mean?
I'm
just like,
that's what I mean.
She can't get pulled over for being intoxicated.
No.
But you can beat the snot out of your girlfriend 30 years ago, and we all forget.
Oh, he hates Jews. It's no big deal. Give Mel Gibson $5 million to make another movie. It's okay.
Right? And let's all read about, Kevin Costner's wife raping him for child support.
Oh, give me a break. That guy is such a tool.
He is.
I have a hard time watching his movies, to be fair.
I know.
Because
everybody's watching like Yellowstone right now. Honestly, that's the only reason why I haven't watched it.
Okay.
Because it's getting really good reviews.
Interesting you say that. So there's all these spin-offs, right? Mm-hmm. So and of course, I don't think Kevin Costner is going to be in it anymore because of all of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because apparently he was having an affair with some woman on set. And
Figures.
That's, again, by the way. So anyway, there's an 1898 or something. There's some, 1890 something. It's a super old prequel where literally the beginning of this family sets out from Texas to, and I guess it's where Yellowstone takes place in Wyoming or whatever. Anyway, I said, oh, well, I wanted to watch Yellowstone for a long time. Mm-hmm. I was really excited about it because it looked great. And the one woman reminds me of you a lot. And so I'm like, I really want to see it. Anyway, so I'm like, well, now I'm going to watch them in order. Now I'm going to watch the prequel, and then Harrison Ford is in one that's like 1923, and then I'll watch.
See, I didn't know they were all related. Okay.
They are,
That's a
lot.
Then
then I'll watch the actual Yellowstone.
Okay.
So I did 2 episodes of the very first one last night. First of all, they're over an hour long each. And they're really slow.
Oh.
Beautiful. And there's like big stars in it.
Yeah.
Like Tom Hanks, Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
Obviously Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, who are great, by the way.
I've heard.
So good.
Yeah. Tim McGraw is...
Damn, that
he's
dude is
always
good.
been a good actor.
He's
I'm sorry.
so good.
But I loved him in Flicka. And if you've never seen that movie...
That's a good movie.
Shut up. It's so good.
You're right. He is a good actor. Well, he played a really good bad guy in Friday Night Blues or Friday Night Lights.
I haven't seen that one.
It's about football in Texas, and he's like this washed up has-been who beats the shit out of everybody in his home, and his son is like the star of the football team, and it all takes place in Texas.
See, I would love it.
It all takes place in Texas.
Sounds like a movie I would love.
Yeah, he was a drunk and he beats the crap out of
probably why he's good at it.
Yeah, because he knows.
He used to be. But for some reason, there's something about Tim McGraw. He can do no wrong in my eyes. Well, I don't know what it is. Well, he can do wrong in my eyes, but I just try to ignore that part of him.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, he was an alcoholic for years.
I know he was.
And Faith Hill stayed by his side.
She did.
He got himself sober, I should say.
Yeah.
And now they're happy as clams again. Yeah. But because of all of his pain, and he's an amazing actor. Mm-hmm. He's so good in this movie. I'm like, damn, he's fierce. I mean.
And he's hot.
He looks really good in this one.
Well, I don't know if he's your type, but he's totally my type.
You know what? I like men with dark hair.
Yeah.
But I tend to like dark hair, blue eyes. That's like my thing.
Okay.
Which is why I like John Hamm.
Oh, he's so cute.
Much.
Yeah.
He's just such a good looking person.
Yeah,
but Daryl also has dark hair and blue eyes. So
does he?
Yeah.
Oh, so Daryl doesn't count to me.
No, he's your brother. You shouldn't.
I can't.
Thank you. I appreciate that. By the way,
you know what I mean.
Yes.
Any of our siblings spouses, you know.
Oh my God. I had a dream about
I feel
Allison.
very brotherish in our family.
It's very brotherish. I had a dream about Allison last night.
Oh.
It was so
She's
weird.
so living her best life.
Oh my
right
God.
now.
I keep thinking about that photo she took the other day, and I'm like, she looks so good right now.
She's lost weight.
She looks amazing.
Okay, and by the way, losing weight is not the reason why I'm saying she looks amazing. But
well, no, that is part of it. She's fit. She looks great.
Here's the thing. I feel like in our family specifically, when you are happy and we're thin.
I know.
We look different. Our faces are radiant.
Yes.
We don't have, you know what I mean?
I
and
don't
so
know.
when I saw the photo of her, I was like, she's living her fucking best life now.
And I looked
and her
at
husband floating around in the pool the other day. She's like, night swimming. I'm like, look at you guys.
I was
Stop.
so happy for her.
So
I'm
cute.
so happy for her.
Yeah.
I just love it when one of us is just doing so good. Mentally, I mean.
Yeah. Because who knows how long it will last.
Yeah, you just take it when you can get it, and then you move on.
Right.
Then you go like, oh, well, I guess I'm back in the depression stage. Whatevs. In fact, the other day, I told Daryl, sadly, I told him, I go, well, I think I'm in a depressive mode. He goes, oh, really? And I go, and no, there's nothing you could do.
Yes, actually, he can. He can take you somewhere. Go to the Four Seasons. Cures everything.
Oh my God. I'm
telling you.
Okay, we need to wrap this up, but really quick, I told you the other night, you asked me if maybe I would go to Florida with you in the winter.
Did.
And I was like, yes. So I waited.
Well, I know it's Florida.
No. Well, your daughter's there. That's all that matters.
That's the only reason why we would go there. But I'm just saying. But it does take a moment to pause, think, and like, can I go there?
Well, I don't need an abortion, so I can go. And I'm not gay, so I'm okay.
I'm just saying.
But yes. So anyway, I hesitated to tell Daryl right away because he gets very enthusiastic.
Oh.
And so finally.
Well, you're right.
Hold on. So finally, I told him.
Don't pressure me.
I'm not pressuring
not
you. Anything. No.
And I'm like, oh God, because I get anxiety very easily about stuff like this. Yeah.
Don't even. That's why I didn't tell him anything, because I'm like, this may not even happen.
Yeah.
It may not happen till next year, but it's something you floated, and I'm excited about it, and I will absolutely go with you.
Okay, good.
That's all that matters.
That's the reason. Well, so I've been
all that
thinking
matters
about
is I will go with you.
I've had, you know how you can, when you start tracking a flight, and it'll tell you. So I've been tracking flights for about 3 months now.
Okay.
And they are all over the place, by the way. But I just started thinking about it. I'm like, this is something I've been wanting to do for over a year. I'm like, and if I ask my sister to go, then I'll probably do it. Yeah. Because I'll have some follow through. I'll have somebody who will want to do it
with you. Right.
Yeah. And I'll feel safe about it. Blah, blah, blah.
So on that note, I know all of this about you because I'm the same way. So, because I don't want to travel I've traveled by myself and I hate it.
I have
it's
too.
Not my fave. Yeah. So anyway, so I hesitated. I'm like, all right, fine. I'm going to tell him because if it does happen, he needs to know.
Yeah.
So I said,
it's fun to have him be excited. Of course he will be.
So I said, and this is what was so hilarious is I had just said not even a day before that I would rather die than go to Florida. And so I said, so this is really a funny turn. He goes, what? And I said,
he's like, wait, what?
I said, well, my sister is thinking about going out and visiting Lauren. And he goes, oh, really? And I said, yeah. And she asked me to go. And I said, I would love to go. And Lauren's a big fan of Disney. And so we were thinking we would stay somewhere in Orlando and we would go to Disney for the day and it would be super fun, but we would need 2 travel days, blah, blah, blah.
That's the worst part of it.
And I thought it would be a really great time. And I would love to see Lauren and Richard myself. Yeah. And it would just be great. And I've been wanting to go back to Disney World. I mean, it's not my favorite thing.
I've never been there, so
there's so much though. That's the problem. Is it's so expensive.
Which is why it's expensive. But I figure
expansive.
We're only gonna do it once,
like large. I mean,
yeah, expansive.
Yes.
Well, it's both, by the way. We're only gonna do 1 day of that,
right?
So I figure we'll
just do whatever Lauren wants to do.
We'll do it. Well,
she can tell us.
She'll do anything because she can. They go all the time. So no, we're gonna do what we want to do, and they're gonna come and they'll love it.
Okay, cool.
They won't care. They are so easy.
So I tell him all of this. He goes, "Oh, that sounds so fun." I go, "Yeah." I go, "But
he can come, by the way."
He goes, "No." He goes, "Okay." So he immediately whips out his phone and he goes, "All right." He goes, "The best thing to do is to take United, fly through Houston, especially in the winter, because it's got the least amount of delays. Because normally you go through Chicago or Colorado, and of course." That's winter central.
Oh, and I've always gone through Dallas when I've gone there.
Yeah, so he said Houston's better because it's closer to the Gulf.
Well, both, yeah.
And he goes, and then you fly.
Dallas, Fort Worth.
Yeah, and then you fly into Orlando. And I said, okay, cool. And he goes, and if you take United, you're going to automatically be upgraded because of our status.
Oh.
Because we flew to London on a United flight.
Oh, great.
And I said, does that mean I can upgrade to first class? He goes, likely. And I was like, all right.
Well, we could even just buy first class tickets. I mean,
no, but we can upgrade. It's cheaper for us.
Oh,
anyway.
okay. I just don't want to take the chance of then we can't because it's like, well, this flight's full. Sorry.
No.
And then we're back there by the bathrooms and children.
No, he goes, you're automatically going to be in business class.
Okay.
He goes, but you could upgrade if you wanted to.
People listening right now are like, you fucking snobs.
No, please. So then he goes, no, I'm only saying this because I don't know what the budget is. And I'm like, okay. He goes,
it's Stephanie, so it's cheap.
He goes, I said, and I told him that. I said, listen, I go, this is not.
I'm not going to stay at a Motel 8. You know,
I know that.
Never going to happen. I told her that. But we might stay at a high-end Hyatt. I'm just kidding.
I told him that, and he goes, all I'm saying is
there's a Four Seasons. I already know. There is one.
There's a Ritz.
Oh, there's a Ritz?
And he goes, there's a Ritz. And I said,
but is it on property or is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
God.
He goes,
why did they do Disney?
And so every property is on Disney property, by the way, even the cheap ones. And so he goes, and
there's so many out there.
He goes, no, there is this one. He goes, he goes from expensive to cheapest. And he goes, and this is the cheapest. I said, I'm going to stop you right there. I go, because you and I both know that we're not going to that
That's not happening.
I said, we may not stay at the Ritz, although that's what I would prefer. Well, I know that we're not. So can we just maybe go mid-range?
We're not staring at Pier Point either.
Whatever that is.
It's like the family version.
No.
But in Orlando, you can, it goes, there's like 30 properties that are Disney
I don't want to go
owned.
Anywhere where there's a lot of children.
I
want to go where
Disney World.
No. Hotels.
Right.
I don't want to go where there's a Goofy's Kitchen, okay? I want to go where there's room service with pour-overs and eggs Florentine.
And glass plates and cups.
And champagne if I want it. With a view if preferable.
And not mums.
Yeah. So anyway, he's like, well, I think you guys are going to have a great time.
We are going to have a great time. And here's the beautiful thing about short trips is you can spend more money on stuff like that because you're only doing it for one night.
And I told him, I said, I just don't want Stephanie to get mad if I say, look, I'm going to buy the airplane ticket or the hotel so that I can have one of nice.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. Trust me. I wouldn't do that to you. And this was the issue I had with Mother actually when I traveled with her. Well, she was trying to do everything on a 50-cent budget. And I think she was doing it for me.
Right.
But she failed to understand that it's like, look, I might be poor.
But I am not going to fly poor.
No. And I had planned. I knew we were going. I had been saving money. I knew what I wanted to spend it on. And
like
I knew
a normal person.
Yes. So she was trying to get us to have like a regular hotel room with just 2 beds in it.
Absolutely.
I was like, this isn't happening. We're getting the suite and it's $70 more.
It's worth it.
Stop it. And then when we got the room, she's like, oh my God, this is lovely. It had 2 double balconies. It had a master suite and a giant bathroom. And she was like in heaven.
Of course she was. Because it's, $70 extra.
Thank you.
And that's what you get.
Jesus. I'm like, God. But anyway, more to come as we plan the trip. That'll be fun to talk about on the show.
I can't wait. Anyway, all right. Well, that's the show. Thank you for listening to my pontification about women being beaten down.
But she's
because
right.
We have joy.
Yeah. So please go see the Barbie movie and enjoy it.
Barbie movie. And if you don't want to see it, fine. Just shut the fuck up.
Right. Let us enjoy it.
Let us just have something nice for 5 minutes.
Yes. And Taylor Swift, by the way, is going to be in California at a city not far from where we live.
Santa Clara.
Next weekend. Mm-hmm. And I have friends who are going and they're so excited.
Yeah. Every single one of my children who are here, they're like, we're going to tailgate at Taylor Swift. And then freaking Levi Stadium and goes, sorry guys, you're not. And I'm like,
no Taylor gating.
Here's the deal. I can't wait to see them try to arrest tens of thousands of women. They're not gonna. Capitol Corridor, by the way, has already said, hey, Swifties, we have a special price for you. Oh. You can take the train.
Oh, my God. That'd be so fun.
That alone is going to be amazing.
Can you imagine the train ride?
Yes, I can.
It would be so fun.
I'm half tempted. And I told the girls, I said, I really want to go with you, but I'm not going to because I don't want to ruin your fun.
Right.
They're like, Mom, you could totally come. And I'm like, I don't have glitter.
I would let the kids. I would love to go too.
I would go.
It would be funner to go with your friends or your me or whatever.
Honestly, I would go. And but if they're gonna, here's the thing. I know me. They'd be like, ladies, you can't tailgate. We're gonna arrest you. And I'd be like, bring it on. Leave my children alone. These are girls. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm not in the right mind frame for this.
Yeah, you might not be.
So maybe I should just refrain and just enjoy TikToks.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.